committee for being here, all the unit presidents. It's great to see everybody in the room. Maybe a little bit more black folks, African Americans. I think we have like 7,000 people that are NAACPers, and we really need to quadruple, surpass. We need 100,000, 1.2 million. I don't know, but we need a much larger number than what we have right now, membership-wise. And I just want to charge everybody to really work on that. I know in Bartow County, Cartersville, Georgia, and just for full disclaimer, I'm sure some of y'all probably seen me on the news last night. We're fighting all the time. And one of the things I wanted to do as a branch president was leave a legacy for our community that Bartow County would always have an NAACP chapter, and all that takes is to have 50 lifetime members. And that's really going to be, we've started that and we've worked at it and we've had some success, and it slowed down, and then we get back in the fight with it. And before next year, when our term is up, I really want to put a lot of emphasis, and I charge each of the branches to really consider doing that. If you're not one of the bigger branches of DeKalb County or Cobb County, those branches that really have those, and you're a smaller branch, you need to get those 50 lifetime members. $750, I don't want to count nobody's pocket, is a chunk of money. But, be creative, do fundraisers, we put folks on the payment plan. And, I was going by, I had my treasurer and secretary checking on them, when you gonna make your payment now? We don't want to come repo your membership, but, make your payment. So just anything that we can do. And one of the things I found out too is best practices. If somebody's doing something that's working, and if you can duplicate those efforts, and it works, let's duplicate them. Let's not make everybody reinvent the wheel. Some of us and some of these branches are doing things that are amazing, and we need to, as branches, stand up and share that information. Teach one, each one teach one, and each one say what they have to say to make sure that we can duplicate our efforts, that we're doing things the right way in decency and order, and making sure that we're progressing this great organization and using what we have to benefit each other. Do I have a time limit, or do I just keep talking, or what?
Introduce.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I just sent you the program, but you were supposed to introduce the presidents, and then we would come up.
Oh, well, y'all see, look, they just gave me a mic and said, go talk. They should have told me that before they gave me this mic. But I am a branch president, so I'm Dexter Benning, Bartow County. Do you want me to have each one stand up, or let me have that, man? So Ms. Grimes is not here, and I'm filling in for her. So President Munson, okay, all right, all right. Here we go. We got a panelist. We have some panelists here today. Let me get my glasses. I don't want to call them in my jacket over there. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, the president say we have emergencies, so we do what we do. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so the panelist today was going to be President Doreen Grimes. I'm filling in for her. President Wayne Hale from Columbus Branch, President Sarah Malone from Rome Floyd, Timothy Bassett from Camden County, Dominique Corinth from Carroll County, and President Gwen Westbrook from Macon-Bibb are the unit presidents that are going to be involved in this panel that we're going to have this discussion. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to the president, and we're looking forward to a great panelist discussion.
And before we bring the panelists up, we've already prayed, but we need to bless the food because this is a panel discussion with the presidents, you know, the good things that they've done, the challenges they see in their community and how we can engage. And then we want to open it up for robust conversation because, you know, many times there's a conversation in the state conference that we're not engaging the ones that are in the field. So we wanted to kick off the convention by doing that. So if I just have a volunteer to bless the food. She blessed the food? Okay. Well, if she blessed the food, then you can adjourn to go get food and then come back, and then we'll have the panelists come up and they will introduce themselves, and then we will get started. So we can just start with the back tables and head out. And I think that it's two-line services, so we can just form two lines. So can I have everybody's attention while you guys are enjoying the wonderful luncheon? We want to go ahead and kick off the program. So if I could have everybody's attention. And so I would like to call up several of the presidents. We'll do it one at a time to give words and to kind of give us an update on what's happening at the unit, your successes, your difficulties, and what you can bring to this conversation about how we can strengthen the unit. So with that, I would like to call up my friend from Columbus, President Wayne Hales.
Thank you. My name is Wayne Hales. I am the president of the Columbus branch NAACP. We've had some great successes, of course. When I was at the national convention and I was listening to some of the problems that are going on around the country, I was reminded of the young boy who was carrying this cross, and he was talking about the burden that he had. And the Lord said, well, just go in this room and put your cross down there, and then go over in this room and pick up the one you want. So he went in and put down his big old cross that he had. Went in the other room, saw this little one sitting over in the corner. He said, oh, I want that one. Came out the other room, and he said, man, I love this. And the Lord said, well, that's the cross you put in. So, you know, everybody's got problems, but for Columbus, Georgia, one of the successes we have had is that we have been able to collaborate with organizations, and they have asked us to take the leadership role. So we collaborate with the IMA, which is our Faith Leaders Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, the Divine Nine, the Jack and Jill, 100 Women's on the Move. And most recently, I would say last year, we had a voters participation rally where President Riggs came up, and he saw that for firsthand because we had William Barber came up and spoke. We had some national gospel artists come in. And on that day, that Sunday, we registered over we were responsible for registering over 3,000 voters to come to vote. So those are the type of things that we're doing. We also collaborate with the Black newspaper, which, of course, I'm the publisher of the Black newspaper, and the Black radio station. So we have the Black media control, and so we have collaborated with all of the activities now. Again, they asked the NAACP, and then we went to the Black media. And so at one point, every organization was having their own little candidate forums. So you might have 10 or 15 people show up. We decided to combine that with the Black media. So now we had held 4 candidates forums at the city council chambers, and we had over 300 people at that one. So as we move forward for 2024, they've already asked us, hey, will you all do that again? So from now on, we will be responsible for hosting all of the candidate forums. So that's another plus. And at that time, all of the candidates came, where before you might have 3 or 4 going to one. So that's a plus. The challenges that we have, most recently, we had the FOP come before City Council and had a vote of no confidence for our Black chief of police. He was eventually fired and forced out, and so without cause. So we were trying to fight that, but he decided with his family that he would go ahead and accept the severance package. But we have those type of issues. Most recently, about 3 weeks ago, President Griggs came down too for that. We had a shooting at our local high school. It's a Heritage Bowl. 2 of our Black high schools play every year, and there was a shooting there. And so they canceled all of the games at that particular stadium. And so we've been going in front of the city council to talk about that, and I've got a meeting with them. We're going in front of city council. And again, it's a collaborative effort because you have the IMA, the Divine Nine, and again, they asked the NAACP to set that up and go before them. So we will be speaking in front of city council about the accountability of police officers in Muskogee County. Those are the main things that are going on in Columbus, Georgia. We have now had, I guess at one point in time, we've got a little bit more respect in the community in terms of the NAACP. It's sort of like, if y'all remember when they said E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens. Well, now when the NAACP speaks, everybody sort of listens. We've had really strong leaders coming out of Columbus, Georgia. You know, Edward DuBose, who was our former president, is now on the national board, and Tanja Thomas was our former president, and now she's here on the state level. So those are some of the positive things that are going on. I think for us in Columbus, Georgia, to be able to collaborate with various organizations has been a plus for us. And the fact that they're asking us to take the leadership in that. That has not always been the case. As when they were doing forums, everybody was trying to do their own thing. Yeah, you know, and that's how we are. Everybody wants to be a chief. Nobody wants to be an Indian. You know, everybody wants to take credit, and I think we're at that point now. We are the majority in Muskogee County. Right? We are 44%. The white community is 37%. Hispanics are 8%. But we do not have that same representation on the city council, school board. So that's the thing we're doing now. So we are really focusing on voter registration, voter information, and voter participation. Okay. Good.
Thank you, President Hales, for detailing the wonderful work that's happening in Columbus, Georgia, on the ground. Next, we will have President Sarah Malone from Rome, Floyd. She will kind of give us the lay of the land of what's happening up in Rome. And if you haven't been to Rome, Georgia, I would really ask you to go. It's a beautiful city, and they're doing some phenomenal work up there. So without further ado, President Sarah Malone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. And with what President Griggs said about Rome, I offer you all an invitation to come to Rome. If you want to see me, just call and tell me that you're coming, and I'll meet you there, because I'm subject to be in Savannah somewhere. I don't want you up there by yourself, but you're welcome to be there by yourself. I'd like to thank President Griggs for being our speaker for our Freedom Fund banquet last month. And well, no, it's August now because we're in October. But it was good, and President Griggs, everyone that attended and saw it on Facebook, said, "Where did y'all find him?" It's not hard. Give us $30 and we'll let you find him. But at any rate, right now, what we're having a problem with finding something for our young people to do. When I say young people, I'm talking 21 to, we have a 42-year-old, and he complains, "Mama, there's nothing to do here." We're at the commissioners' meeting, we're everywhere we can be, but we just cannot get anything brought to Rome for our young people. Right now, especially though during the election, we're having a municipal election, and right now we kind of have it going the way the people need it, the decent people. But they're trying to get our commissioners out of office. Of course, we know we're nonpartisan and we don't support Republican, Democrat, or Independents. But the Republicans are really trying to take over. Yes, I'm saying it, and I hope it's on Facebook Live. They are making a mockery out of some of our commissioners. We have a female commissioner, that's the Mayor Sunday Stevenson. They put her in an orange jumpsuit on Facebook behind bars. Very disgraceful. One of the commissioners is a deacon at his church, and he got upset, and he said, "This is a bunch of SH," and he said the word. So they said, "Deacon cursing." Well, you make Jesus cuss if you had to deal with it, okay? But we're trying very hard to get our people registered. We're trying to get them out to vote, and it's a hard job because people think, "Oh, we don't need to vote for the commissioners. We'll just wait for the presidential election." That's not the way it goes. It's not the way it goes. But we did initiate the Juneteenth activities. We had never had any parade or anything like that. So to give everybody credit, I'm a behind-the-scenes person. So when we carried to the branch about having a Juneteenth parade, they were very receptive of that. And the NAACP is the sponsor of the Juneteenth parade. We like that. But we have a 2- and 3-day weekend with other organizations collaborating with us, and it seemed to be a big hit. President Griggs was there this year with us for that as well, and we thank you all for that. But we're doing education, we're doing scholarships. We give scholarships to the city and county high schools in Rome. And we have we have 2 private schools, right? So we try to give each school a scholarship, and right now they're at $500, and we're trying to raise more money so we can give more scholarships. So, and we just, we're available to anybody that needs us. If there's a complaint, we thank God when we don't have a complaint, but whatever they need us for, we are always there. And presidents, I need you all to know, you're not just leading your branch, you all are mentors. I'm stalking y'all on Facebook, okay? Oh, I do. Ask my husband, Sam. You be like, you coming to bed anytime tonight? I'm thinking to myself, just as soon as I finish stalking Henry County or somebody, But, and I like what President Benning said about, the president from Canton, the life memberships, to have the life membership, you will always have your 50 members. But now I am, and my secretary of Rome, Floyd County, is the state secretary now. And I tell Jackie, I said, Jackie, it's good having all these members, but they got to do some work. She said, now you can't make them do anything, this is a volunteer organization. I said, I know, but while you're soliciting membership, while we're soliciting membership, I also want to know, what's your strength? Are you a shake on a doer? We have enough paper members. We need somebody beating the pavement. But I thank God for all my members, because with the number that we have now, we will maintain over 50 members at any given time. So we're not worried about losing our charter due to lack of membership. But we just want to grow, and grow, and we really want to take care of our young people. One thing that I don't like I, me, and my, but I take this personal. I'm having a problem with a Armed Services Veterans Chair. So if you all can help me figure out how we're going to get a Veterans Chair. Our Veteran Chair died a few months ago. I remember right now we have the fair at home, the county fair. And last year this time, Mr. Staten and I enjoyed each other at the county fair. So when they were setting up Sunday, that kind of broke me down because he's not here with me. But I don't know anything about military. I'm not military. My family's not military. But I do a lot of research and try to get stuff out there that I think is important. But, please, I'm stalking y'all because I need to take care of our veterans. We need to take care of our veterans. And our housing, oh my God, we do not have affordable housing in Rome. Even though it's Section 8, it's not affordable. And they had told us, City of Rome, we have 2. We have city government and county government, okay? City government, superintendent of schools, always said, we can't find any African-American teachers. Well, buddy, you wasn't looking. We have African-American superintendent, and he turned some rocks over, and he has brought us educators and leaders that are God-given, God-driven, okay? These people are not somebody that's just showed up behind a tree. They believe in the Almighty Father, and we are moving forward. We're going to get a new middle school. Our distant, unfriendly people are trying to get that vote to go back again so they can knock down the middle school. We need that middle school. If you have, I'm gonna sit down in a minute. I might talk on my way back to my seat. If you all have not been to Rome, if you're coming north, you take 75 north to exit 290 to rural Route 20 to rural Route 411. And from 411 to Rome, it's like they have cleared out another whole city over there. We're getting a battery plant. If you've been to Savannah lately, once you get so far down 16, you see where they've cleared that off of that battery plant? They don't want us to have a new school. Well, where are we going to put these children? How are we going to educate them if we don't get a bigger school? We have got to do something. Y'all pray for us, we pray for y'all. Thank you. Thank you, President. Oh, it's so long. I'm sorry.
There we go. Thank you, President Malone. And as she said, if you haven't been to Rome, please go visit Rome. It's a beautiful city. They are doing great work up there in Rome. And, you know, one thing I can say about the freedom fighters in Rome, they don't hold their tongue and they know how to fight back. We marched literally through the middle of the town for the Juneteenth. And I never thought in my life I'd be marching down the street in Rome, Georgia. But it was something to behold. With that, you know, one of the presidents that I admire the most for the freedom work that he is doing and that branch is doing is the Camden County NAACP. You may have seen them on several viral videos, the jail beating video, as well as the white female officer that ripped somebody out of a car. They put up one heck of a fight. They've had officers arrested. They've gone to county commission meetings and gotten things taken down. And so I wanted to hear directly from them and you to hear from them. So I introduce you to President Timothy Bessett, who's been doing phenomenal work at the Camden County NAACP.
Good afternoon, freedom fighters. Thank you for the invitation, President Griggs, Executive Committee, and everyone responsible for this invitation. We are Camden County. We way down there, y'all, about 4.5 hours from here. We are a county, a small county, about 50,000 people. But we're doing a great work in Camden County. Our branch was reorganized back in 2019 after there was an unarmed black individual that was shot and killed by law enforcement. He took 4 bullets in his back, but yet they still acquitted the officer. And at that time, of course, Jackie Johnson, who was responsible for the Ahmaud Arbery situation down in Glenn County, she was the prosecuting attorney. They prosecuted the officer, but they really wasn't trying to get a conviction. So they just went through the horse and pony show. But in Camden County, we are locking law enforcement up. Bad law enforcement, we are holding them accountable, and when they break the law, they need to be locked up, just like you and any of our citizens. Just to talk about membership, I've been hearing about how the membership needs to grow. Let me just say this. Growing membership requires fruits. Your community want to know what you're doing. And if you're not doing anything, they're not going to be a part of it. So we went from 50 members to well over 200 and something now in about 3 years. And so And a great part of that is because people see the fruit, they see the work. And so when you're doing the work, people want to be involved. And my motto is IEE. Inform, be informed. Have your community informed. And then once you're informed, you can be engaged. And then you can execute the plan. Inform, engage, and then execute. We meet regularly with law enforcement. We have a county, then we have 2 other municipals within that county. We meet monthly with the sheriff of Camden County. We also meet monthly with the chief of police in the different municipalities. So we are certainly doing a work there in Camden County. We have had 5 correctional officers indicted because of excessive abuse. We've had one patrol officer that was indicted, and we also have Department of Justice have came into our county and opened up an investigation of the allegation that's occurring in the jail. We're in a bad situation down there. I mean, we got law enforcement know that the camera is right there on them, but yet they still choose to abuse inmates. And they've been doing it for a long time. It ain't just started happening. It's been going on a long time. But now there is accountability taking place. I met with the sheriff on last Friday, and there was an incident that occurred out on the interstate, and it was brought to my attention, and I sat with the sheriff, and I said, Sheriff, you watched the video, and you said that you was going to take care of it. I said, but in the meantime, what's happening with the officer of the bad behavior? He told me what the officer was put on administrative leave. And so we often do follow-ups. Stay engaged with law enforcement. And again, we're counting about 50,000 individuals, and we're part of that good old boy system. Been doing stuff for a long time, but we're bringing it down, and I'm proud of the work that we're doing. And we have a great staff. We got great committee chairs that don't mind getting out and putting boots on the ground. So with that being said, again, like I said, one of the challenges that we do have, and also we are at every county commissioner. We got representatives at county commissioners meeting, city council members. So we are the ears and the eyes and the voices of individuals, and we have to be present. So I want to encourage you to be present. Be present at the county commissioners meeting. Be present at the city council meeting. Be present at the Board of Education meeting. So we have representatives at all of those meetings. And one of the challenges that we have as being so far away from Atlanta, it's good, that if we can see some of our Atlanta folks in Camden County, because we are on the front line there in Camden County, and we got to live there. And the work that we're doing, we make a lot of people angry with us. And we're the voices out there. And so it would be good if we can have some of our leadership from time to time to come and stand with us in Camden County as we continue this fight. Thank you.
Again, I appreciate the work that they're doing in Camden County, and we will definitely take you up on that and be there standing with you, because it takes a lot of courage on the coast or anywhere in Georgia to stand up against injustice. But I just again want to commend you for the work that you are doing personally, because we see it, we appreciate it. There's another president here that I've seen her grow in the year and a half that she has been at the helm of the Carroll County NAACP. She's a fighter. And when I say she's a fighter, she took on the sheriff's department, took on the police department, and she is doing the work. She's standing up more and more memberships. And so I thought it was important to hear from a young president who just assumed the role, but has blazed a trail that the whole world has seen. And so with that, I would call upon Dominic Conte from the Carroll County NAACP.
Thank you, President Griggs. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dominique Conte. I am the president for Carroll County NAACP branch. I'm also the first woman president for our branch, so I'm very blessed and happy to be here. As President Griggs stated, I recently got sworn January 7th of this year, and we have had a lot of activity. I'm very proud of our branch. We have been very busy. One of the major conflicts that went viral for the wrong reasons, if you will, this particular year in our county was our Villa Rica City Police decided to post silhouette targets of, well, they weren't silhouettes, but targets of black men dressed pretty much as thugs, where they had the community come out, and because it's supposed to be community day pretty much on the range, where they were supposed to be learning how to utilize the weapon and target practice and all of those things. And that unfortunate incident did go viral. Our branch was notified to respond, which we did in a timely manner. The end result of that was we did have a peaceful protest. Myself and several leaders of the organization met with city council reps, the mayor, along with the police chief, with other leaders in the community to discuss how could we rectify the issue and what it required. We did, as an executive board, take notes of, as NAACP for that county, what we wanted to recommend, and provided that to the mayor's HR and other individuals in his administrative department. He did take us up on that and decide to hire a third-party investigative firm to figure out what they needed to do to be culturally aware, amongst other things, so unfortunate incident like this won't happen again. When I say we went viral, we were literally on CNN, Good Morning America, New York Times. We was in the media for the wrong reasons. And our community was definitely in their feelings and very disappointed. And the fact that initially they doubled down, when I say they, I mean the police department, and they didn't, for whatever reason, understand initially what the uproar was about. So by the time we got to the meeting for mediation, they had a clear understanding that they had done something wrong and that they definitely needed to retract and reverse their state of action. So through that, the third-party investigator did set up several of the requirements that the branch actually had suggested that they input and include moving forward. So an incident like this never happens again in our community, because Carroll County is over 33% African American, along with other diversity. So it is a very diverse county, and it is continuously growing because we partner. Part of our county is partnered with actually Douglas County. So we got residents that's literally Villa Rica City, but on the county side, Douglas County. So it has expanded. So with that, obviously, minds and hearts need to change. So I'm proud to say that that has occurred. Of course, we are looking, we are watching, we are continuing to partner with the city and the police chief to make sure that we all stay on accord and that we move in a positive direction, if you will. Another thing I want to bring up is I'm very proud of our scholarship committee. We have, over the few years, raised over $17,000 and given out over $17,000 of scholarships. Last April, we gave out 5 scholarships for $500 each to young seniors in our community that was headed off to college. $500 each they received, along with a gift card to assist them with items they may need going into their dorms as well. And we will continue to do that. We've been doing that for several years. That's a tradition of our branch, and we will continue to do that. It is headed up by my predecessor, Mr. James Stocks, and he's been doing a fabulous job with the scholarship committee, so I'm very proud of that. Additionally, we are in the process of getting ready to host our 25th MLK Parade. We are known very well for Carroll County of hosting the MLK Parade. It's a big turnout. It's going to be January 15th, 2024. We've already started promoting it, so if you follow us on any social media outlet, you can see that we are highly active on that. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a website, Nextdoor. We pretty much try to be at every social media outlet to get everyone in the community informed. So we're very proud to be celebrating our 25th anniversary of the MLK Parade coming up in January. Since my leadership, I know we have increased and we will continue to increase our membership, but as of right now, we've increased it in the last 9 months by 20%. We are extremely excited and happy about that. Secretary Glass has been doing a fabulous job as our secretary for our branch. She's also was nominated and elected as the Assistant Secretary for the state as well. So she's the new Assistant Secretary for the state. So we're very proud of her to have been promoted to that position here as well. We have also been partnering with the League of Women Voters recently. My first VP, Ms. Deidre Rouse, she's actually on that board and was able to bring back to the e-board, letting us know that the League of Women Voters wanted us as an organization to partner with them. So we went out to several Carroll County high schools and registered hundreds of seniors that's getting ready to graduate to vote. Some of them was actually surprised that I guess their parents had already registered them to vote when they got their driver's license. You know, they check off that box. If you've already, you know, if you want your kids to be registered, they will. So they were elated. They were elated that, okay, I don't have to do anything. I just got to go and figure out where I need to go for my district and my post. So we did a great job as a partnership and unit with the League of Women Voters. We also have developed several new committees. One big committee that we have developed is called the WIN Committee. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. It's big on the national scene. We are very proud of that as a branch. That committee has just been exploring and exploding. We have our chair, Ms. Portia Starr, along with the co-chair, Ms. Quan Smith. They have over 15 members, and it's continually growing. The workshops they have done, from whether it's mental health, they're in the process of doing a mentorship for the women. They help with social economics. They're doing fundraising. They are just moving. The ladies are super excited. They are very engaged. We have a very diverse amount of intellect and education and experience with the WIN Committee. We have doctors, lawyers, educators, entrepreneurs. We have a whole host of women that's in that program. We are constantly getting the community to ask about it, wanting to get involved. So we are super excited about pushing that to the next level. We actually just voted last month ad hoc committee for the men's program that we will be kicking off probably, I would say, the beginning of next year, basically to mirror, if you will, our WIN committee. So that's been getting a big buzz in the Carroll County because there's definitely a need for men to have proper representation, mentorship, and just brotherhood, if you will. So we are moving forward and taking the leadership on that as well, because that is definitely a need in our community. Also, I want to just speak on, just in general, all of the workshops from our housing committee. We've had several workshops that our chair, Ms. Sandra Houston, is over, where she's a professional realtor. She's at the top of her game. Actually, we're very proud of her. So she comes in and does great workshops for our general members and the public, and actually bring in her partners who she partnered with as a real estate broker. We've had partnerships with several pro bono civil rights attorneys that came in throughout the year and did actually workshops and events during our general membership to inform the community of their rights, their civil rights, where can they go, their contact information, and just basic things I feel as Black and brown people we need to know, because I feel if we do better when we know better, if you will. So we are continually going to partner with them, and then of course when we get cases that we have that we feel are efficient, discriminatory or racial intent, then we refer those particular firms to them. So we have been doing a lot and we'll continue to do a lot, and I'm just grateful that I have a very supportive branch, a very supportive e-board, and we really haven't had any issues other than the viral situation, but I feel that we have addressed that, and the city and the county and the police chief is very aware and cognizant that Carroll County NAACP is watching, is alert, and we don't have a problem getting in some good old-fashioned necessary trouble. Thank you.
Thank you, President Conte, and I can attest they get in some good and necessary trouble in Carroll County, and so we're proud of them and the work that they are doing there. The last president I want to call up, who's also the third vice president of the state conference, is one of the strongest presidents that we have in the state conference. She's always on the front lines. She's always speaking truth to power. She's calling out the sheriff and the DA and sometimes the state president, so she is, the best way I can explain it, she is a force. And so I want to introduce to some and reintroduce to others Madam Third Vice President, but also the President of the Macon-Bibb County of the NAACP, Gwinnett Westbrooks.
Good evening, I am so glad to be a part of this organization. I started out, just want to give you a little history. I started out in this organization because I needed the organization. I was working for a major company, and the NAACP was there for me. And I joined, and I've been giving back ever since. I think it's very important. I try to, people that we help, I try to, don't make you join, but I want you to join, because sometimes people do come back. So you coming back again and you still haven't joined. So we try to encourage people that we assist for membership, because you never know when you'll need the NAACP again. A lot of things that we've been working on, like the president said, that you have to be visible in the community. The community need to know that you're there. Some of the things that we've been working on, I've been going into the jails with Herbert Denoy. He's a newspaper publisher, previous newspaper publisher. He's retired now. But I've been going into the jails with him with the Walk Away Initiative. And what we do is we encourage the inmates there, talk to them about real life. Try to, not to down them, but to give them some hope. While you're in here, get your GED. They offer that while you're incarcerated. Make better choices. But in the process of all that, he's told me that, look, they want you here every week. He bring different guests in, but they want me there every week. So it was ironic that because I'm dealing with females and males, and a lot of people have misinformation about the NAACP. And to make a long story short, I was there one particular Wednesday, and a white girl, she said, I was not aware that you all help white people. I just thought that this organization helped black people. And so whenever I go into the jail, I always give the history of the NAACP, so people will know that we're there for anybody. And so they wear my phone out, though. They call, I'm up here, and the jail calling me. So I have a card, and so I give my card out. And what's happened is a lot of people there have attorneys, mostly appointed attorneys. And what I normally do is I'm kind of like the person that the intervention. If they're there and they say, they'll write on my card and say, I've been here 6 months, I haven't seen my attorney, then I'm going to send the director for the public defender's office, say, look, this person been in jail. Can you find out who their attorney is? And and we work very well together in getting information. And most of the time, it's stuff like that they haven't seen their attorney. It's very important that when you're incarcerated, that you're able to see your attorney. Most of what I've seen, a lot of what I've seen, and I'm not blaming anybody, because the public defender's office have a very large caseload. But at the same time, they took an oath. And so a lot of times what I see is they don't see their attorney until they're going in the courtroom, they're going to trial, then they plea. And so that's something that we're watching. That's why I'm so glad that I'm able to be there, because I can watch that. And so that's one thing that we do, even with make sure there may be medication. I'm going to email the sheriff and say, look, this person hasn't got their medication. They got mental health issues. A lot of people in jail have mental health issues and have medical. I make sure that is being taken care of, make sure they have their medicine that they need while they're in there. So those are things that the NAACP is able to do, help people with housing when they get out of jail. I've even, we have a resource center where people are homeless. I meet them there, make sure they get in and all of that. So get them a bus ticket so they can get around and things like that. So that's what we're here for. We deal with a lot of housing issues. Affordable housing is just gone out of the window. You can't really find anywhere that you can really afford, because their price gouging is no law in Georgia, which I really thought that the governor would put something in place during COVID because the property managers are basically trying to get their monies back that they've lost, and so we were a part of that. Also, we got it approved through the national. We actually helped people apply for the Department of Community Affairs when people were applying for the benefits. So we got approved for that. So we were actually helping people get signed up and get approved for the money to get their back rent paid. We've had a town hall meeting where some apartment complexes was having issues of apartments not in code. We work with code enforcement, and now that apartment complex is being fined by the county, they're in court to make sure that those people's housings are caught up to code. You may have seen me on TV here a couple weeks ago. A young lady was arrested at a Springwood extended stay. They actually came out and arrested her, and the NAACP has a good relationship with the sheriff, the district attorney, and some of the media outlets. We have a good relationship. The media called me and said, "Ms. Gwen, they fixing to lock somebody up out here at the extended stay hotel." And I said, "I'm on my way." By the time I got there, she had already been arrested. But this is the thing. I called the sheriff. The sheriff say, "Well, I called the courts and they said to lock her up." I say, "But the law says," I say, a law was, there's a case that the Georgia Court of Appeals ruled on March of last year that people that live in extended stay hotels have tenants' rights. You can't call the sheriff and have them arrested. You got to file an eviction. So I gave her son my card. He called me next morning. He said, "Ms. Gwen, they out here putting us out. The sheriff is out here." And so I said, "I'm on my way." I got there. I said, "Let me speak to the sheriff." They're like, "Ma'am, they don't have any rights. They're going to have to go." And I heard her say, "Get your shit from behind the door and get out." I called the courthouse. I said, "I need to speak to the judge." I said, "I need for you to call the sheriff, tell them what the law says, and get these sheriffs from out there." He called me back. He said, "Gwen, you were right all along." He said, "I've called them, told them to leave. They're going to have to file an eviction." So they had to put their stuff back in the hotels. These are types of things that we got to educate our community on. People live in extended stays have tenants' rights. You can't call the sheriff and have them evicted. They have to file an eviction. She was arrested, but I was able to get her charges dropped. She was out the next day. They charged her with criminal trespassing and theft by service. You can't charge a tenant with criminal trespassing. And so we were able to get her charges dropped, and so now she wants to file a complaint against the sheriff because the sheriff should have known. They should have known this new law. They should have known. Yeah, and she's white, so hopefully, yeah, and we'll help anybody. So we're working on Hidden Lake Apartments right now. Tenants there are being charged excessive water fees. They don't have individual meters. It's just one meter. Their water bill is running like anywhere from $100 to $200 per month per tenant. And so we've actually had a community meeting. I met with the tenants, gotten a lot of their information. The only way that we're going to be able to really tell whether or not they're actually overcharging them or not is to get all of their bills. And then, the mayor and I have a pretty good relationship. His assistant, Reverend Ficklin, who's my school teacher, so he'll get me in a meeting with him. So we got to get all of that information so we can determine whether or not they're actually overcharging them or not. And the mayor, I'm sure, will step in. He just filed a lawsuit against a Crystal Lake and took that property over in 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so he'll do the same thing. We want to make sure we got to hold people accountable. Tenants, pay their rent. We want to make sure that people are not, they're price gouging this, but there's no law in Georgia saying that you can't tell a landlord when they can go up. As long as they don't go up within that 12 month, whatever your lease is, they can't make changes within that 12-month lease. So we just got to make sure. My main thing is we got to educate the community so they'll know their rights. And so we called code enforcement. We had the fire department there, and they gave the handbooks, the tenant rights handbooks to all the tenants there. So because we got to make sure that they know what to fight, how to fight. We attend every commissioner meeting. Each executive committee member attends the commissioner meetings. We attend the Board of Education meetings monthly. We attend the Transit Authority meetings. The NAACP joint forces with Commissioner Elaine Lucas. They was trying to raise the bus fares from $1 more for actually the bus where people are disabled. So we were able to stop that. They did not raise the fees for the bus. We did a press conference in front of the Transit Authority and told them that we would start protesting if they increased the bus fares for people that were disabled. It was a paratransit. They were really trying the price was going up. So they stopped that. They were not going to increase the bus fares. We sit in the courtroom and listen to cases. Sometimes I'm there all day. I have a tablet. I sit in the courtroom. I write names down. I write what happened, and I challenge it if it's not right. We were able to, sitting in the courtroom, I was able to fight against a solicitor that charged a group of kids that was at a park. They were basically stunt driving. But everybody was not stunt driving. People were there just watching. The people that were stunt driving had not actually got there. But the sheriff, and I got a good relationship with the sheriff, but the thing about it is having a good relationship with the sheriff, the DA, we have an understanding. I took an oath, they took an oath. If you step out of line, then we still got a friendship, but I took an oath. And so our friendship, I'm not gonna jeopardize my morals and values. I'm gonna make sure that I still represent the people. And so what we did was, we did a press conference. We asked for the charges to be put back to what they were. They actually increased the charges from, actually they charged them with unlawful gathering. But then everybody that was driving a car, whether you were just there, you drove down there, they charged them with stunt driving. There's several things that happens when you do that. People that are under the age of 21, license were suspended. Their insurance went up. And so she said, no, that's not what we did. Yes, it did. That's exactly what happened. So we were able to get the people that had not already gone to court, we were able to get their charge. I got a printout, and so they took their charges back to unlawful gathering rather than stunt driving because it affected them economically. And then having stunt driving like that on your record, it could keep you from finding a job where you have to drive. Right. And so we were able to get those charges. It was about 60-some people at the park that day. And so we were able to get those charges reversed. Our political action person, she goes to all the Board of Election meetings. She attends those meetings. We have a radio show. We come on every Monday at 4 o'clock. We talk about the issues in the community. We have different guests that comes on the show and give us updates of what's going on in the community. Because we got during COVID, basically that was the really only communication that a lot of people were getting on, from the radio. So we just make sure that we keep the community informed on what's going on. Now we're looking at the conditions of the jail. When there's a problem at the jail, the sheriff and I got a relationship where he let me come. If somebody say, it's just terrible down here, somebody been beat up, he'll let me come in and see that person and make sure that they're all right, or he'll let me come in and do a walkthrough. We had a meeting with a large company, Ortho, Georgia. A lot of you may have heard of those because they're not just in Macon, but there was a supervisor that was discriminating against some people there. We met with them. We asked for her to be moved, and they did move her from their supervision. She's in another department, so they moved her. I'm almost finished. I want to tell you about a couple things. I don't know if you all are aware, the criminal system is designed to keep people incarcerated. It's designed. We got privatized prison. They got to keep those beds, so many beds occupied. In 2022, the governor passed a law, Senate Bill 105. If a probationer has been on probation for 3 years, has not violated his probation, has not gotten any more charges, and is continuously paying their monies, they can have a 10-year probation sentence. They can ask for a review and go back before the judge, and he can terminate that probation. When he did that in 2021, 25% of the population was eligible for that program. It saved them $34 million that 1 year by releasing people off of probation. People, we got to sit in the courtrooms. I'm just encouraging every branch to have some. If you got a criminal justice system, we need to sit in the courtrooms because there's a lot of injustice in our courtrooms, in our judicial system. I sit in every probation ratification. It's every other month. I sit there every month. The judge don't like it, but he don't have a choice. He just look at me and I look at him. But he don't like it, but we have to sit in the courtroom. I'm gonna tell you why. It was a girl struggling with, she was about to get evicted, but they handcuffed her when she got ready to go report and said, you better come up with $600 that we're gonna lock you up. They had her handcuffed till she could get $600. She had to call and borrow the money, some of it, because she hadn't cashed her check. She called me. She was so afraid to go to the point that she would call me and ask me, could I go, and I have to wait. They don't let me come in no more. They say I can't come in because I usually go in and sit. So they don't let me come in no more. I have to wait outside for the probationer. But anyway, I went to court with her because the chief probation officer said, tell her don't pay any money, just to come to court. Just come to court and we'll look at it then. When we got to court, I came as a witness because the chief probation didn't talk to her, she talked to me. The judge was talked to me so ugly in the courtroom. And the bailiff stood up because I wasn't gonna let her talk to me in the kind of way. You the judge, you yelling at me from the bench, and I said something back to you. So anyway, to make a long story short, what I was telling her, she's already done community service. You say she could do community service or pay the money, so she's done community service. Well, are you a lawyer? I said, no, I'm here as a witness. I'm not an attorney, I'm here as a witness because a probation officer spoke to me. Anyway, long story short, I filed a complaint with the chief judge. 2 days later, she went back to court, and the judge released her from probation, terminated her probation. I'm saying you could have did that when we was up there. But people are intimidated, especially judges and people like that. They're intimidated by the NAACP, and they punish people that we help because we're involved. And so you really can't prove it, but I know it happens because a lawyer told me, he said, Gwen, the only reason that they treating her like that is because y'all involved. And people that the NAACP help, they retaliate against those people. But like I said, we gotta sit in the courtrooms. It's a lot going on in these courtrooms, and I'm just encouraging, as the district coordinator, I'm encouraging every branch to have your criminal justice chair or whoever they designate to sit in these courtrooms. like I say, the district attorney, she's the first black district attorney that we've had in Macon. She and I have a good relationship. Something going on, she'll call me and say, Gwen, look at, you need to check this, you need to look at this. Those are the kind of relationships that we need. But at the same time, if she step out of line, I just called her the other day. I said, somebody's been in jail 6 years. What's going on with that? He ain't been to trial yet. So she responded back and told me he keep firing his attorney. And so they got to get another attorney at times. So he's been doing that for 6 years. It's a strategy that he uses. But anyway, but I just want to say, I thank you for allowing me, giving me this opportunity. I think that's it. And also we give scholarships too. We're getting ready for our 51st Freedom Fund Awards banquet. Earl T. Shinholster's award banquet. We give out scholarships. As president, I started something a little different because I feel that we got to take care of our own. Our branch was giving scholarships to high school students, but we had youth in our branch that work, volunteer and work. So I started acknowledging our own. So we also give a monetary donation to our NAACP youth. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, President Westbrooks. And she was still being a little bit modest. She didn't bring up the issue that they had with the hate flyers that was occurring. She's done so much work in making BIB. And to sum up what everyone has stated, we have to develop relationships where both the judges and the district attorneys and the mayors know us and respect us, but still fear us. And so I know that's happening across the state conference. I'm appreciative of all of the branches that are doing that work. And we're going to wrap up the President's Luncheon with just a charge. You've heard all of the programs that different presidents have implemented in their units. We need to replicate these programs because as President Westbrook said, Georgia's a big state. There are a lot of different challenges that each unit have, but we have some commonalities. One is criminal justice. And that's one of the reasons why the U.S. Attorney will be here later on this Saturday. He will be here to talk about hate crimes. But we need to be present in courtrooms to watch, to make sure that people understand that we will hold them accountable. I know Larry Lockett, who was here earlier, he does it all the time. But we have to be there because, as President Westbrook said, probation revocations, they sending people up the road for not paying their fines, not paying their fees, not being able to get off of probation. And so we have to be there. And so I challenge you, as she challenged you, criminal justice chairs, we need to be in the courtrooms. Last but certainly not least, we need to engage with one another more often. Presidents need to engage with presidents. So I'm going to take a little bit of presidential privilege and steal something that President of DeKalb said we should do, and I'm just going to poll the room a little bit. But would you guys be open to maybe a monthly or at least once a quarter president's Zoom call where we can check in with one another, see the programs that are working, see the things that aren't working? Yes, yeah. And so we will make sure we kick that off. And I give credit to our new president from DeKalb County for having that idea because what's happening in Glenn County is happening in Fulton County. What's happening in Macon-Bibb is happening in Macon County, Montezuma. What's happening in Rome is happening in Dalton. So I think we can do that, and I'm willing to do that. And so let's make that happen. I know President Westbrooks wanted to say something else, and then we'll conclude.
I wanted to say, a lot of you all, I don't know if you know about it, but it's called the POM. It's a probation management option. And we need to be watching that also because what it is where when you're on probation, the judge actually, you sign a waiver. and if you violate your probation, you don't go back before the judge. You actually, the probation officer can decide your punishment. I am totally against that because you waive your rights. You waive your rights to an attorney. If you get in trouble and you go to a hearing, the public defenders do not have to represent you. You have to pay your own attorney, which that's totally against the Constitution. The Constitution says you have a right to an attorney, but when you sign a waiver, you're signing all your rights away. I've spoken to the public defender's office. We actually had a meeting. The judges was invited. The district attorney, President Griggs was on and the sheriff was there. The judges didn't show up. Probation didn't show up. But who holds the probations accountable if they make the wrong decision? We have somebody right now who's sitting in jail, been sentenced to RSAT, which is RSAT is a drug and alcohol program, but you're still in jail. There is a bed shortage for women. Your time does not start until you get there. So we got people sitting in Bibb County right now, been in jail for 7 to 8 months waiting on a bed, and their time don't start till they get there. That got to be changed on a legislative level. It can't be changed locally. We got to change that, because if you're going to give me, you say I got to go to RSAT for 9 months. I'm actually doing 18 months. And if somebody don't need to actually go there, this person really don't have a drug problem. They actually are punishing her because we got involved. Because if she had a drug and alcohol issue, then you wouldn't have gave her a choice. You said, we're going to give you violated your probation, you tested positive for alcohol, we're going to give you a waiver to do 60 to 120 days in jail. She didn't understand it because the person that came down was telling her one thing and the paperwork said something else. She said, well, let me go to court so I can get some understanding. But because she didn't sign the waiver right then, when she went to court, they sent her to the RSAT. Not because she needed it, but because it's a form of punishment because she didn't sign the waiver. She's been sitting down now since May, waiting on a bed. There's a shortage, period. But for the women, it's a shortage because the prison closed and they've transferred a lot of those women to there. So that's something that we need to work on, getting that legislative change. Their time didn't start till they actually get to that program.
Thank you for lifting that up. Thank you for lifting that up, President Westbrooks. And she is correct. There's only one women's prison in Georgia, Lee Arundel, and they are shifting individuals. So there is a bed space limitation for RSAT, which is Residential Treatment Program in Custody for prison offenders. We're going to wrap up. I'm going to let President Malone, and then I'm going to ask Chair Jackson to pray us out if she doesn't mind. But President Malone has something. And then every president that was spoke, if you could stay back so we could take the picture, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you. Chair Jackson is going to do exactly what I was going to ask you for.
Oh, okay.
The shooting that they had at Morgan State.
Yes.
One of the 5 people that were shot there is the granddaughter to our Rome, Florida NAACP Freedom Fund chairperson. And the young lady is her first year in college. She just graduated high school and went to Morgan State, and she was one of those that was shot. She's doing pretty good. Grandmother flew out this morning to go see about her. And I got a message here. Even though I'm 70, I have to have permission to leave home and go places, okay? So my sister-in-law texted me and told me that they had 2 bomb threats down here at the school. She didn't say which schools, but they've had 2 bomb threats here. And day before yesterday, they had gunfire over at the Savannah High School in Savannah, Georgia, where we have twin nephews. So not just my family, your family, your family. As Chair Jackson prays us out of here, let's pray for everybody, please. Especially our young people, because some of these children haven't been exposed not even to a gun. They don't even know how to hold a gun, but then you're going to get shot. Thank you.
President Griggs, it was Best Academy in Atlanta.
It was Best Academy that had the gun? Okay. Yeah, so definitely we need to lift that up. And we all know that there's a gun violence epidemic here in the United States, but particularly in Georgia. So what we have to do as units is to speak truth to power to our state representatives, to make changes on our gun laws here in Georgia. You know, you can be pro Second Amendment, but also pro common sense regulation. So we're going to definitely do that. We want to lift up that young lady who was an unfortunate victim of gun violence at Morgan State. And of course, Best Academy is in the city of Atlanta. So we're going to make sure that we reach out to the principal there and see if we can assist. But with that, I want to bring up Chair Jackson to pray us out and to make sure that we are covered as we matriculate through the convention. Just want to update, because of the emergency, registration was moved back from 1 to 5, so now it's 2 to 5. So registration will probably open in 5 minutes. So.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you, O Lord, for this opportunity. We thank you for what has been shared on this day. We know, O God, that we have a situation, but we understand, God, that you rule and super rule over everything. And whatever we stand in need of, you will provide. God, we ask that you would continue to bless and strengthen our presidents in this room and even outside of this room. We pray, oh God, that you will give them the wisdom and understanding as to how to relate, how to collect, how to develop, and how to educate. We thank you now for all that they have done in this room. And Father, we now lift the young lady who was exposed, shot, God. We ask, oh Father, that you would strengthen her mentally and physically, God, because we understand that our children are being exposed to some things that they have never been exposed to before. But God, we ask that they would lean and depend on you. Know that anything that happened, that they know that you are not, they are able to conquer anything. We ask, oh God, that you will continue to look on our schools that are being attacked. And we know that it is the attack of the devil to turn them around, to make them fearful, God, because fear is running through our land. We ask, Father, that you would let them know that you have not given them the spirit of fear, but of love, of a sound mind. God, we pray that you would strengthen where they're torn down. And then, oh God, as we matriculate throughout this conference, we ask that our minds and our hearts will be stayed on you, Lord, that we will look to the hill from whence cometh our help, knowing that all our help cometh from thee. And then, oh God, we know that the expectancy, hallelujah, and all that we do, God, it will bring glory to your name. And in all these things, God, we give you praise and honor. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Thank you. And I see that our chair has made it. We lifted you in prayer, chair. So she's here. But again, as I announced earlier, registration was moved back to 2 o'clock, so it should be open in a few minutes. You are free to adjourn to register, and we will see you at the Dinner for the Souls. Registration packs are in the packet, so you have a full schedule